This is a wild child. But just how reliable are these accounts? We'll examine one of the most compelling cases in modern history. It began in Africa. Kampala, Uganda, home to over 1 million people who, like most city dwellers, find the bump and grind of just getting to work a little tricky. But one wrong turn on these dusty roads could lead to some of the world's thickest jungles. 2 hours south of Kampala, Bombo Village teeters on the edge of Africa's untamed forests. It was here in Bombo in 1991 a remarkable story emerged. A woman walking home through the African brush was startled by a group of vervet monkeys chattering in the trees. The monkeys were a common sight around the outskirts of the village, stealing food and bothering the locals. But as she watched them that day, the woman caught a glimpse of something that terrified her. A dark form, crouching in the branches. But this was nothing to be afraid of. This was a human boy. Once the woman realized what she'd seen, she went back into the jungle and brought him into her home. News of the strange boy spread like wildfire, and while the local villagers felt sorry for the child, they weren't quite sure what they were seeing.
Everybody came to see the new boy who had hair all over, and he had no toe. The toe was bitten by monkeys.
The kids in the village recall that when the boy first arrived, he was as wild as an animal.
He could do scratch you like you are not a human being. You know how a cat does? He would scratch you like a cat.
They decided this boy must have been in the forest for a while. They said he hated to be kept indoors, wouldn't eat cooked food, and didn't like clothes. The boy wouldn't or couldn't talk, but he seemed to be able to communicate with the vervets and even move like the monkeys.
He was moving like this, just like a monkey.
Pretty soon, the locals were calling him a real-life Tarzan, the fictional boy who grew up in the jungle.
Whoa! Whoa! And we are wondering, what kind of guy is this? It was really amazing to see such a guy making noise over a platform.
So who was this mysterious feral child? In time, local authorities identified him as John Segunya, a 4-year-old